they've been waiting on.
Yeah, here we go. Okay. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the dawn, I guess. Welcome to the dawn era. We're here. It has started, has begun. Feels like yesterday we were just in the after hours kickoff, and here we are. Here we are. Wow. In case you guys don't know, I'm Chesco, and on the other end, as always, my partner in crime.
Matthew on the other end, as always.
Yes, sir. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about with the Dawn. We have our predictions. Obviously, we want to hear from you guys as well, and we'll get into that in a bit. But first of all, if you want to hear our in-depth review, thoughts, analysis on Take My Breath and that record, first of all, just to let you know, like, we love it. We love the record. It's incredible.
Yeah.
But if you guys want to hear a 40-minute version of that, and really like a 2-hour version, it was basically a big Weeknd discussion. So if you guys want to watch that, check it out. Linked right over
here.
Wait for it. Hold on. There it is. Okay, there it is. There it is, right on the corner. Or if I pointed to the wrong side, it's over there. Yeah, go check it out. This video will still be here. So if you want to click off real quick, check that out. Hope you like that stream. There is more. We stream every Tuesday, Thursday, 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST. And anyways, the Dawn.
Yes,
like I said, man, we're here the same way we did for the After Hours video, what to expect. Let's do that for the Dawn. And I think it's best if we work from the music video and then we go backwards, just because there's a lot of info we've gotten over the last couple of weeks. It's been great for us. We have the weekly Weeknd update on our stream. That's the last plug for the stream, I promise. So first of all, I want to ask you, what did Take My Breath, both the song and the music video, tell you about the Dawn? Like, how did it temper your expectations? Like, any specific things you're looking forward to, that kind of thing?
Yeah, definitely. I think if we're starting at the music video, the night that the song drops, it's a premiere on YouTube. The music video is coming out. You and I, we are there, like, live reaction, we're with the chat, everything,
dancing our fucking asses off.
Right. But all of that we've heard so far was that kind of like a minute snippet that the Weeknd posted a couple days before the actual release of the song. That was like a really long synth pattern all the way up, and then all of a sudden the bass kicks in and we hear his vocals. I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be amazing. I'm getting Daft Punk vibes. I'm getting very much like vaporwave aesthetic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's what I assumed I was gonna get going into this music video. So cue the music video, the timer goes down, it starts immediately. I'm like, oh shit, this is like reminding me a lot of how the previous era ended, which is wandering lost in the desert. He kind of collapses and he dies or whatever, and until I bleed out. And all of a sudden how the sun has come up. Everything he's been saying about the dawn, we were in darkness, now there will be light. Everything, all the imagery has kind of come to fruition within the first couple of seconds of the music video. Coupled that with the track itself, I was definitely thrown off a little bit just because, I thought it was going to be a little bit more spacey. Like, I thought we were gonna get that whole synth track that we heard a couple days before, but it was a lot more upbeat, super high,
very disco, a lot of disco influence in there. It feels like if you played it in the 80s, at a nightclub, it's similar to Blinding Lights, where it's like you could throw it into that setting and it would fit right in. You wouldn't even, like, the instruments are the same, like those dark textures that we're used to with the Weeknd. It's replaced with this, like, the groovy bass line. A lot of Thriller vibes too, with the vocal distortion, the whoa, that stuff is so dope.
Super cool. So I was about it though. Like, I was like, okay, this is where we're going. I thought we were going a little more vapor wavy, but this is straight disco, haunted disco, I guess.
Haunted disco music. That's the new era. That's the new shit. Okay, I love it. Yeah.
But I mean, music video alone, like, oh my god, it was insane. The visuals. I mean, there's definitely some sort of storyline there that we'll definitely get into, but it made the song make a lot more sense in terms of what direction he's going. With the Dawn, it's much more Matrix vibes or
Blade Runner type shit.
Or I'm really loving that direction. It was definitely something different. I didn't expect that, but now that I fully understand the direction, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be sick. Got the trench coat.
Oh man.
He's about to offer me a blue and red pill, that kind of shit.
Sunglasses with the beard.
Yeah. So off of first impressions, I was like, this era is gonna be like as iconic as After Hours. I already know.
And there's something about it, man, that it just warms my heart for some weird reason towards the way that he basically Can't Feel My Face it with this record. He says, I won a Teen Choice Award off a song about a bag of blow.
Right.
This song is about a choking fetish. And hey, man, I'm not gonna kink shame. I fuck with it. I don't know. I just find that super funny that the number. I don't know if it's a #1 hit, but it's a hit, and it's about something as like I can't wait to see kids' reactions to that. But like, what is that? What does that mean?
Right.
But yeah, no, I especially appreciate the fact that he is really doubling down on this 80s sound. He's setting the bar for it because that's become the trend now ever since The Weeknd, ever since Dua Lipa has brought in this 80s sound. There's been a lot of people trying to bandwagon it and capitalize off of it, but The Weeknd is showing that he studied this shit and he knows it, wants to do the best version of it, and I can't wait to see what this is.
Definitely studied. I think what I love about how far he's taken this sound is just it feels like familiar but new at the same time. I feel like he understands this 80s synth, this new wave of this nostalgia type music that's been coming out, but he's able to just put his flair and twist it in a way that honestly feels like something brand new, which I think is super fun to like discover as he releases music.
Yeah, going into this GQ interview that we got recently, which was a nice surprise. Was not expecting something as insightful. Mark Anthony Green, who conducted the interview, he did a great job. Asked him a lot of the questions that I feel like we wanted to hear, not just about music, but just about him. Like, his thoughts on the whole Grammys debacle, having explained some of his lyrics to his kids. Even, on his 30th birthday, he went to get breakfast with Jim Carrey, like stuff like that I can't get off of an interview with Entertainment Weekly, that kind of stuff. Like I want to hear about just him and his life, and that was a really cool interview, so great job. But we did get some info on the record, which I thought was interesting. I could imagine this polarizing a couple fans, so be ready, buckle in. According to Mark Anthony Green, the interviewer, like I said before, he stated that, well, first of all, he got to listen to a couple tracks, and he stated that the new project is packed with party records, like a real deal, illuminated white tiles meets the best night of your fucking life party records. And then The Weeknd comments, he says that it's the album I've always wanted to make, which is really interesting if it's going to be a lot of party records. But it actually makes sense. If you look back at a lot of the old Weeknd videos, like of him in the studio, just trying stuff out, finding melodies and flows, it's all upbeat music. And then Mark adds later on that it's not just the album he's always wanted to make, it's the album we've always wanted him to make.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts, regarding those quotes? That's a very big departure from what we're used to with the Weeknd albums. It's more of like an experience, intimate experience,
Yeah, very, very interesting. I think it definitely leaves a lot to be interpreted in terms of what they mean by, I don't really know what, illuminated white tiles on the floor party records, like what is that, that aesthetic that they're talking about. It's like
I think it's that, like, what is it called? John Travolta, Saturday Night Fever?
Yeah, okay.
That so kind of shit,
So,
like,
so disco-y, yeah, kind of like that heightened
Billie Jean, when he's walking through the sidewalk, the tiles all light up. I think maybe is what that's a reference to. I don't know.
Something like that. That makes me think it's gonna be a little bit more a little otherworldly is what kind of comes to mind. I think I
love that.
Yeah, I think what After Hours was, it was its own world, but it felt grounded. It felt grounded in the idea of the story. There was an arc, there was a story to the whole thing. There's a character that we were following, and there were like some crazy imagery and stuff, but it was more along the lines of following a traditional narrative. Whereas The Dawn sounds like its own experimental project, like its own atmosphere, creating its own reality apart from everything that The Weeknd has done before. So hearing things like, it's the album he's always wanted to make, that definitely makes me think. I don't know if this was if I'm misquoting or something, but he mentioned like After Hours was like the album the fans really wanted him to make or something like that. But which makes sense. Everybody, they've always wanted that cinematic, dark, vibe that they thought could be explored in a much deeper way, which he did on After Hours, which is why every Weeknd fan is like, this is the best thing you've ever made.
Yeah.
But I think The Weeknd departing from that sound and going full into this party mode definitely leaves me curious. So far, it's sounding really cool. I'm loving the direction it's going, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I think if this is the album he's always wanted to make, then like there's a lot of passion and there's a lot of intention behind the tracks on this song. outside of just creating, you know, a narrative, a world, you know, like he's always done.
Yeah, how I equate it is if his albums are like movies, you know, and After Hours is like this intimate character experience, you know, The Dawn I feel like is going to be this action summer blockbuster, neo-noir, you know, cyberpunk, like you said, type deal. Like it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be such a great experience. And in the way, I like what you said about instead of it being a traditional narrative, it's more of a world building. And that actually reminds me of Kissland more than anything. You know, that's another thing you mentioned in the GQ interview, that this album and this record, Take My Breath, was really him figuring out how to perfect what he did on Kissland and that kind of thing, which is interesting. I'm so interested to see what that is, you know, because Kissland is one of his most beloved projects. You know, it's underrated. It
has its own cult following within the cult, you know.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's amazing.
There's so much love for that project, and for a while he's never talked about it up until pretty recently, honestly. And so now he's like, yeah, this is me perfecting that sound. I'm like, wow, like already to some people that project is perfect, and now he's like, yeah, it's getting even better. So a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, if you listen back to like Odd Look, Wanderlust, you see the lineage. Right. And now we're here at Take My Breath, and we're gonna see what that looks like, which is amazing, incredible. Yeah. And I will say in that Zane Lowe interview that I just love citing so much, he said that Kissland is the only project he'd do a sequel to, and we thought After Hours was that. So moving on. It looks like The Weeknd got some Twitter fingers lately, because he's been really active on Twitter. I love what he's been doing, promoting this album, promoting this era, bringing us in. It's kind of made the transition from After Hours into The Dawn very seamless. You know, there's the legendary PB&J rant up till Take My Breath came out. It was the #1 moment in the Dawn era. Just such a fun moment. However, I think the big thing to take away, he had a tweet. He said, "Just so there's no confusion, it's a full body of work."
Yes.
So to me, that means that we're getting at least 10 songs. I think that's safe to say. Yeah. It's not going to be like, you know, for example, My Dear Melancholy was like a footnote. It was a moment that he really wanted to just, you know, make this record and get it all out there. It was only like 6 songs, and he said like, that's it. That's all I had for that project. Right. I think we're getting 10 plus, which is nice. So
that was really good to see, because I think in our initial predictions or just speculations about The Dawn, I really thought it was going to be just an EP, because I'm like, there's no way this dude's already got another project like already lined up, mainly because it felt like, I don't know, After Hours felt like it just could keep going, you know, like it could never stop. No, I mean, this guy, The Weeknd, is like a creative machine. He already has a full project, like almost completely wrapped up and ready to go, like hopefully by the end of this month. But yeah, that's so crazy. So I think, definitely out of all the Twitter rants, that was like the biggest takeaway. I was like, okay, this is an actual full-length album.
I'm just so happy to see what this decade looks like for EXO. It's going to be,
my God,
incredible.
Going into more of the predictions, what to expect from the actual album itself, I think what is a huge and what has been at the forefront of a lot of debate with a lot of The Weeknd fans on different forums, on Twitter, you know, stuff like that, is this new sound. Like we said before, clearly going heavy into like that synth wave, you know, cyberpunk aesthetic. A question that arises is like, is the entire album gonna sound like Take My Breath? You know, like, is it all gonna be up tempo? You know, all gonna be, you know, he did mention it's going to be filled with party records, just like in the interview. Knowing Abel, I feel like he has to have some sort of variation. There's got to be at least some like remnants of a ballad, or like something of a slower song and like thrown in there at one point. I still do expect a lot of, you know, hype songs. I feel like the kind of underworld-esque like vibes that we got from the music video are where that nuance can come in terms of what, like you said, that Can't Feel My Face. It's like a disguised as like kind of like a, you know, radio hit, kind of more friendly commercial, you know, song, but what it's really talking about are like more dark themes and like has kind of like a dark undertone. So I think that's kind of where he's going, is similar to Kissland, where it feels heightened yet still gritty at the same time. So in terms of the sound, I don't know if you looking towards, you know, the viewers, you guys, like what you guys think is going to be this new sound. You know, Take My Breath is definitely a departure from what After Hours has been sounding like. Contrary to what some fans or some people on Twitter will say, like, oh, this sounds like After Hours. Like, I don't know if you guys are really listening to this music.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it'll be all hype, you know, kind of that haunted disco type music, or are we gonna get a slow song here and there? You know, I mean, that's what he's known for. Or what would you guys prefer? Would you prefer an album full of party records coming off of, this is kind of his victory lap at this point? Like,
yeah,
is that going to be the moment, or is it going to be more variation, a little more nuance? Whichever, I don't know. Up to you guys. I would love to see the comments below, but that's what I'm thinking right now.
If we're just going by precedent, you know, I think there's absolutely going to be a little more variety than just, like, for example, with Starboy, you know, we got the very first single, which was just like, whoa, Daft Punk, super defiant. Tim rapping on a radio record, which was pretty new for him. Like, he's been rapping before, but on a radio single is crazy.
Right.
And then we got songs off the album, like, you know, True Colors, Die For You, you know, Nothing Without You. You know, I'm sure he'll sprinkle in something here and there, but yeah, I'm very anxious to hear what you guys think. Will be in the comments as always, so can't wait to see you guys there. What I will bring up to the Our Thoughts Council on Memento Mori, he was playing a couple punk songs. There was some Linkin Park in there. I'm trying to remember which one. And also, just in case you're watching this way in the future, first of all, tell us how the album is. Second, it was episode 16 of Memento Mori. So that punk rock aspect, it takes me back to the end of the Take My Breath music video. You know, he finally breathes some life, and all of a sudden you hear the snippet, the sound of like, I don't know. It's just maybe a snippet that he just kind of slipped in there, similar to the After Hours short film. He put in Too Late, I think, Repeat After Me, In Your Eyes, and also another point. This is something he does normally, you know, is just go back to aspects of previous projects and previous records and bring them in and update them. And now that he has this new creative direction, how does that fit in there? Right. And I feel like this may be that if you're following me here, if this record at the end of that Take My Breath music video is some kind of song on the record, it could be a perfected version of False Alarm, which was very much a departure, and I love parts of it. Yeah. You know, me speaking, like, yell at me if I'm wrong, but I think there were aspects of it that were a little messy, and
yeah, agreed.
And maybe this could be that, but the ideal version of it, what Take My Breath was to Wanderlust, and of course Wanderlust is an amazing record, but in terms of like the direction he wanted to go with Wanderlust, now we're gonna go all the way with it.
I can definitely see that. That's a great connection. I feel like he is kind of going back to old sounds and perfecting, now that I feel like he's had some sort of artistic clarity that he discovered with After Hours. Like that I can definitely feel through this one single. Going along that more punk vibe, I think, is kind of what we could be expecting here. Like seeing the music video, it's like he's at basically a punk like club or something, and everyone's just like all black, super intense, the flashing lights, like everything is intentional, you know? And so I can definitely see some crazy like guitar chords being used and chopped over some synth or something like that. And maybe he's gonna, I don't know, turn screamo on us or something, like you get real intense.
He did a little bit of that on False Alarm, but I would love to see that taken to the upteenth degree. Yeah. You know, just on steroids. Yeah, I would love to see it.
That would be really cool. And that I think is actually a pretty strong prediction for what direction he could be going right now. Would be kind of crazy to see a Playboi Carti like a feature on there, you know what I mean, with a whole lot of red.
Funny that you say that. We might as well just segue into some of the features that we could get on this next project. So we got 2 or 3 each, and
these are all predictions. So people we'd like to see. This is not anything confirmed. So
people we'd like to see, and also people that we feel like could realistically fit in this world. So starting off, man, my first pick, I gotta go with someone that I have wanted to work with The Weeknd so badly for a long time now, is Kid Cudi. I think that juxtaposition in their voices and their harmonization specifically would be incredible to hear over some synths and that glittery piano that he's been using a lot lately on like Scared to Live, Take My Breath, obviously. You know, I would obviously prefer a slow to mid-tempo song, like one of the darker records, but Cudi can do the upbeat stuff too. So I'm wherever they decide to go with that, you know, I just feel like the vibes would be incredible for that record.
No, I can definitely see that. Okay, so for mine, I know that this is, I don't know, it's not really a cop out, but like OPN I think would be a really cool feature. I already know that he's obviously working on this project already just as a producer, but looking at, you know, the track like No Nightmares off of OPN's 2020 album Magic 10 Tricks Point Never, you know, The Weeknd was laying, you know, his vocals over like OPN's like signature synths and stuff like that. I would love to see a similar take, but more leaning towards that experimental production that OPN is known for, rather than just like another, you know, an OPN produced Weeknd track. I would love to see it kind of flipped, where it's like OPN is making a track that maybe he would release with almost OPN featuring The Weeknd, which I know sounds weird, but I feel like it could definitely fit the vibe. That would be really cool and a little bit more experimental take on the whole project.
Yeah. I mean, just look at what he was able to do with a record that I'm sure he worked on Save Your Tears, but look at the what was it for the Brit Awards, where he performed with the raincoat and all that.
Right.
He had OPN on the side, and he added like these new textures to Save Your Tears. Yeah. That gave it more of that techno feel, made it darker, made it fit the tone of that outfit and the set itself. Definitely. And OPN's incredible. I'm so happy that he's getting the recognition that he's been getting lately, because
definitely.
The sound is exactly what everyone is loving right now. So, you know?
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
Next feature that I feel like would be incredible on The Dawn would be, you know, someone who is currently just doing incredible things musically and creatively and just in life. Tyler, the Creator.
Yes.
You know, both of them have such a flair and artistry. You know, they're very intricate and meticulous about the way they construct their music. You know, one thing I love that they do is they have those bits of songs that only happen once in the song, like those moments, like when he's transitioning into the chorus for Take My Breath for the second time, the way those drum hits different, you know, it's just incredible. I think that even just Tyler on as a producer would be incredible. I need to see what that looks like. You know, he's such a maestro in terms of like figuring out what instruments to use. And I will say this, calling back to that GQ interview, Abel did mention him as someone he'd like to collaborate with, and he mentioned a producer that I'm not familiar with. He mentioned Tyler, the Creator, and he mentioned Kanye West, who is someone that he did collab with on Hurricane, which I don't know, did it come out yet by the time you're watching this?
We'll see. Where's Donda?
Yeah.
Okay, for my next feature that I would like to see, I would really like to see Ariana Grande come onto a track or at some point in The Dawn, whether that's purely for background vocals, or I think she really proved herself to me with her remix of Save Your Tears, mainly because a lot of like the previous, this is just in my opinion, like previous Ariana Grande and The Weeknd features, collaborations, like they were good, but I felt like there was a lot more that to be desired for all of those tracks. I know some people love those tracks, but to me, you know, both of these artists have incredible, both of these artists have like incredible voices and like so much talent between them, to where I'm like, oh, you guys could really do something like so crazy if you like, I don't know, just tried, had the environment to experiment in that way. And I think The Dawn could be that moment or that opportunity to really just kind of go kind of balls to the wall with both of their sounds coming together. And so it just kind of makes sense, because I think Ariana Grande can really fit that aesthetic. Like if there's gonna be any sort of narrative, any sort of, you know, female presence somewhere on this album, I feel like Ariana Grande can fit that role and kind of feed into that, you know, music that you would dance all night with the love of your life with, you know, that kind of a feature, I think, is what she could really contribute well to The Dawn.
Oh man, yeah, that record with Ariana Grande on, I'm just imagining on some kind of disco record, man. That would do numbers. It would be incredible. Right. If they gave it, I hope they give it some kind of depth, you know, lyrically, to give it that lasting power, you know, like Love Me Harder is great. Off the Table is great, but they're very surface level, you know, it's about, you know, love. It's about, you know, making love. And I would love to see a little more to it. And funny that you say, you know, if you'd like to see a female presence, you'd like to see Ariana Grande. The next person I got coming up is someone who actually wrote and composed a lot of the better songs on Ariana Grande's positions. Victoria Monet, man, she's so underrated. Yeah, she's just so good and effortless in using those vintage sounds that a lot of people are using nowadays, whether it be 80s, 90s, early 2000s, 70s stuff. You know, Jaguar, Experience are all records that you should go check out and see really like how she'd fit into The Dawn, and it would be seamless in my opinion. And also also I think she's just underrated. I feel like she greatly benefit, and the world as a whole would benefit from getting to know her music a little more. So yeah, Victoria Monet would be
Definitely.
my last pick.
Definitely. My last pick, this is a shot in the dark for me, but I want to say, Kanye, please do something. But
Do something.
And if those things that you will be doing, have one of those things be a feature on this album.
Yeah, you guys have been on FaceTime and phone calls lately. Might as well.
You guys are talking. You guys are, clearly y'all are working on a project at the same time. But, this was kind of a very much wishful thinking with this one, but Kanye could do something really cool, whether that's producing, whether that's a feature. I think it could fit. Kanye just does what he does, and then it just works just because he's Kanye. And so I feel like that kind of applies to this project as well. If the circumstance was right, if the stars were in alignment for this project to have a Kanye feature, I think that'd be pretty cool.
I mean, well, look at the what do you expect from After Hours video? We expected like Drake, Lana Del Rey, Travis Scott in there, and fast forward, nobody, which is a very real possibility. Granted, like I would personally like to see a feature here and there, just because he's proven he can do it. Right. And I do feel like After Hours not having features was absolutely the right move. It's what I needed. Yeah, it's definitely what we wanted. I think is to see him carry his own project. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely something that's come to my mind. Is like, could this be another featureless album? Clearly, like you said, he's been able to carry a project on his own before. I don't know. This is kind of a question I also wanted to pose to the people watching, the folks at home. Do you think that this could be another featureless album? Do you want it to be a featureless album, or would you rather have The Weeknd accompanied on some of these tracks? Because I think After Hours, no features, made sense. It was the right move. It was all about him. It kind of made After Hours into, what it was meant to be, which was almost like a biopic on the other version of himself, But, this is the Dawn. It's completely different. It's more world building. And I feel like it could definitely have a feature slip in here and there, which is something that I would rather want. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Let us know. Comments below. Yes, sir. And another thing that I want to pose to you guys, I want to pose to Matt real quick. We acknowledged it before, and I think it's a great note to end on. Do you think that there will be some kind of story in the Dawn similar to what we got with After Hours, some kind of narrative, or do you think there will be some kind of through line, from After Hours into the Dawn? Like you said, I love what you added. Like that really changed the music video for me, was the fact that it starts with him walking out to the desert. His strut is confident as hell. Right. Do you think that was kind of a sign for things to come of some kind of story?
It's hard to tell right now. I know that he's posted memes and stuff like about how he's kind of, the After Hours is over, the Dawn is here. Like, how can you not at least try and make some parallels, some connections to the After Hours era with this new project? I think people are still very much enveloped in that story, to where I feel like it would be, a little bit of a fan service, obviously, but The Weeknd loves doing that. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's like some little, hints of, callbacks to maybe previous music videos or moments on After Hours, or maybe
the Weeknd cinematic universe, the WCU.
Yeah. There's definitely going to be, some parallels of both worlds. Maybe they're in the same, maybe it's all the same universe, you know what I mean? So that's something to keep in mind. But no, I mean, knowing The Weeknd, I feel like there has to be some connections to After Hours with this new project. And we will be on the lookout for those little Easter eggs. So stay tuned.
Yep. I can already see it. 10 things you missed from the those type of videos. I think there'll definitely be a story in the Dawn music videos. I think there will be some kind of thematic through lines, because I feel like there was this music video for Take My Breath was an introduction to not only the world but also this guy who reminds us of the After Hours guy, in that he seems to lose in a lot of his music videos. Like if you look at all the After Hours music videos, it's just him taking L's left and right. But so maybe this is that character where now it could be more able than it is The Weeknd, where now instead of being self-destructive, now he's moving on and taking the punches, like I said, So I don't know. It could be something interesting to watch. He said on Memento Mori, I think I mentioned this already, that he's filming some kind of short film music video. So we are going to get some kind of cinematic experience. We just don't know what it is going to be, but that's the fun of it, man. That's the fun of it.
We're in full Weeknd mode right now. We're in the middle of the rollout, so a lot to look forward to. So yeah, those are our predictions for the Dawn. Again, a lot to be thinking about. The Weeknd, he's given us a lot of crumbs on this trail along the way of whatever the Dawn could be at the end of this month, hopefully. But yeah, let us know you guys' thoughts for sure. Any theories, anything we missed. Obviously, there's so many things, so many interpretations of everything that we could have missed something. So definitely leave your thoughts down below. And also, while you're there, let us know, what are you most excited for with the Dawn? What do you think of this new record? And I don't know, what do you think is next for the Weeknd? Because I feel like this is such a pivotal moment in his career. This is a huge move, a huge step, a departure from what has kind of redefined, honestly, the past decade of his career that we just witnessed. So what is that next move? So I think right now is definitely a really interesting time to be a Weeknd fan. But yeah, hit us up on the live streams. We stream every Tuesday or Thursday, 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST, where we go even more in depth with The Weeknd, Kanye, whoever your favorite artist. Let us know in the chat on our live streams. But yeah, the Dawn is here, the Dawn is coming, and we'll see where it leads us. All right, y'all. See you on the stream. Follow us, OurThoughts _pod on Twitter, OurThoughts podcast on Instagram. All those links down in the description below. If you guys miss a stream, those links will also be in the description. There'll be a playlist of all our past live streams where we go even further into the Dawn. But yeah, appreciate you.
Also, we got a playlist with every single one of our Weeknd videos. We've made a lot of them. We've had game show type things. We've had analysis, obviously, predictions like this one, all kinds of videos. Just because this dude is doing so much for us. Yeah. So it's like, you know what? Let's make some videos. A lot of videos. So it'll pop up right about now. And subscribe, like the video, do all that fun stuff that all the YouTubers. But we can't control you, so just if you want to do it. I don't know,
whatever.
Yeah,
but do it.
We don't care. We don't care at all.
No.
We kind of care. We kind of care.
We kind of care. All right.
Yeah.
That's it. We'll see you guys later on stream. The Dawn is coming. Peace out.